Okay, Rabih, we have the second paragraph. We talk about Salim stealing beer. Salim, yeah. Another incident Rabih recalled concerned Shawki friend Salim. Salim was walking aboard with Rabih and began to talk about Shawki, but when he returned to Karnail, he was visit him, waiting to test Rabih's memory for him. That question here, did he try to test your memory or just the memory spontaneously came in for that? That's a really important here to know, because you're mentioning here, he visiting him, waiting for Rabih memory for himself. When he met, Salim asked Rabih if he were Rabih. I am Shawki. Rabih told him. He would get angry when he called Rabih, waiting to be called Shawki. Are you going to shoot me again?
I'll tell you exactly what I told him.
Because that's a very important. Who started the conversation here? It's Salim or Rabih. If Rabih started the conversation, that's mean Rabih leading the conversation, leading the memory. If Salim asked the question, it will be totally different, because Salim is just reminding Rabih with the incident. That's what I'm mentioning that. Go ahead.
Salim, in previous life, he's our friend. We were friends with Salim. Me and Hisham, my friend, and Malik, Hilal. It's a bunch of friends. When Salim, he have job in Beirut, work with the company, elevator company, electrician. When Shawki passed, Salim probably quit or something, this job, and he have opportunity to travel to Saudi Arabia with our senator. He was owning big company in Saudi Arabia, and he take people from our village to work for him. They go like year to year, sometime to come back visit the town. When I was child, like 3 years, 4 years probably, Salim happened to be, that's Salim's house, that's the Kafar Salwan, his town's highway, and this is my grandparents' house, my father's house. It's cross street and steps down below the road, like that. This is his house, this is my father's house, his parents. We build house on top of the village, and we go visit our grandfather sometime daily. My father take us there and stuff like this. Salim, in this life, it's very close to our family, like a cousin, but not third, fourth cousin, probably. And he was coming from Saudi Arabia recently, and me and my youngest brother and my mom and my other sister, she's older than me, we visiting my grandfather. Salim came down to visit my grandfather because they cousin and neighbor. He said, I remember, he said, which child, he called my father Amin by his name. He said, Amin, which child you said he's Shawki, he reincarnate Shawki. He said, this one, Rabih. He said, he came to me, he said, hey, Rabih. I said, I'm not Rabih, I'm Shawki. He said, can you prove it to me? Exactly like that. I said, will you steal pear anymore? He said, I swear, I look at him, he like crazy. He asked me, he said, will you shoot me again? I said, will you steal pear again? He was going to Beirut to his job, and the bus, the transportation used to be like bus leaving the downtown Cornell to Beirut. He goes early, like 5 o'clock, to catch the bus and go to Beirut. He go walk from his house, walk to downtown, like 7-8 minute walk max. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Before the downtown, like 2 minutes or minute and a half, our house, Shawqi's house. There's fruit trees in our garden and the gate here in the middle. I used to open the shutter, the shutter function shutter we have, open and close.
Mhm.
I close it like that to be able to just see the bird on the pear and the fruit and shoot them with the BB gun. Salim happened to go to Beirut walking. He saw the bear. He went in, it's just like 2 steps, he will be there. And does his shirt like that and start putting bear in his shirt.
Feeling, yeah.
He have a big belt. I shot him in his belt. He throw the bear and run. After that, I never seen him back then in
Yeah.
that life. I saw him in this life. And nobody know this story but me and him and God.
Yeah.
He
Just-
wanna test me. He said, would you shoot me again? I said, would you steal bear more?
Okay, just a one sentence, Jim, here you have to be switch and change. To be accurate in a situation, he when asked Rabih, prove it. Rabih said to him, I shot you when you was stealing a pear. Then the conversation continue. Here, they said here when he said Rabih,
He asked me, will you shoot me?
after you said,
No. I
that's
said,
that we need to
yeah,
confirm that
yeah.
because you wasn't.
yeah,
totally-
I say it probably.
Okay, that's me correct.
different.
No, Jim is correct.
He
But
asked
it-
me first, would you shoot me again?
Who he asked you
Yeah,
for?
yeah.
This one, the first sentence.
Yes.
Okay, it's accurate.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
continue. Let's continue. Hisham and his 4 tours. The car. Hisham Al-Aawar Shawki cousin was riding as a passenger in Vespa at the time when the accident, but threw himself off before the impact of the survived with a broken leg. In addition to the Vespa, he drove 4 tours or Sudan made in Germany, sold to that in Europe, export aboard. Rabih saw this car when Hisham was visiting a house close to his, and recognized it. He recognized it, and Hisham running to Hisham and exclaiming, "Hisham, are you still alive? How are you alive? I thought you were dead with me. How are you?" Hisham asked, puzzled. Hisham, didn't you know me? I am Shawki, Rabih said. At this time, Hisham hugged him, a tear in his eyes. Why did you use to go to the hotel? He asked Rabih. A test, because there was a girl coming from Beirut.
Yeah.
He used to love her, and Rabih responded. He was hitting ceiling. Rabih told us he estimated he was 3 to 4 years old at this time of exchange.
Mhm. There's used to be like a hotel, the one in the school now. And people, you know how they come from Beirut in summertime to spend vacation in the mountain.
Mhm.
We met that girl. and I fall in love with her, and we used to go there to see her. Then just me and him know the story. He tried to ask me to make sure it's me. He said, why we used to go to that hotel? I said, to see that girl.
Okay, Shawki death. Rabih recalled that Shawki and Hisham were playing a card and a coffee that frequency when they decide to take Hisham's Vespa to visit Shawki's sister in the town of
Ras
Ras
Al-Mat.
Al-Mat. Rabia has driving the Vespa through the village in Deir al-Harf on the way to Ras Al-Mat. When he around of the curve, the high speed of it hit the bump with the truck coming from the opposite direction, intent to unload is a cargo to trash collection, side by side on the road. Rabia told us that Shawki and the truck drive had to try to avoid each other, but it couldn't. The Vespa had the truck strike the truck from the fender, and his steering wheel turned and hit Shawki in his stomach and go into his lead to the defender. Any new information you wanted to add to that
No,
one?
that's the correct thing.
Rabia remembered that truck driver held him and stopped a small red car
Yeah.
using to drive him then to the hospital in Beirut, about 20 miles away, 20 mile away. He and Hisham were put in the back the seat of the car. The next thing she called was being in a hospital with Hisham's mother sitting beside him. She told him, Shawki, you will be okay. I have your watch and your ring and the stuff, the article he said that you have in your wallet. Shawki said to her, I am thirsty. I am very thirsty. I want to drink. The attending nurse said, don't give him water. His blood pressure is very low. Do not give him water. He will be die if you give him water. Hisham's mother said, but I just
with the napkin.
with the
She
napkin,
wet the napkin
keep the
and
napkin
put
on
it
the
on my
lips.
lips.
The nurse said,
That's
it's up to you.
the last thing I remember.
Hisham's mother did bomb, it was gone. But the last thing he remembered, the napkin on his lips. Okay, encountering the truck driver.
Yeah, the truck driver.
Mhm.
My father used to do construction for that senator. Our house here, and there's road, dirt road, goes to that senator house. He asked my father, he wanna fix that road with gravel and put asphalt on it. My father called somebody have a truck to get the gravel and the asphalt. Happened to call one man, his name Shafiq Abdul Khaliq. His name Shafiq Abdul Khaliq. And this man start loading gravel, deliver gravel on the road. And one day, my father asked him to stop by for lunch. They sit on the porch in front of my house, and we have big table with food, and they start eating food. That man, when they were eating, he told my father, he said, you know, I have accident one day here in Deir al-Harf, where we have the accident, and the one guy, he get killed, died in motorcycle, and the other one have broken legs. My father listening what he said, okay, wait a minute. I was 4 years, I believe. He called me, or maybe a little older than 4. I don't remember exactly. He called me. I was playing around the house, you know, summertime, play with the kids. He called me. I came. I remember the man was sitting here and my father beside him. My father told me, we call the older, always we call it uncle. He said to me, my father, tell your uncle how this accident happened with you. I said, okay. We were going to visit my sister and we were going fast on that curve. And because we're going fast, instead I rode on the right. I have to cut the curve because I was fast, went too much to the left. It's one two-way, but it's a small road there.
Right.
I was going to the left more than like on the other ways coming.
Sure.
And the truck was coming correctly to his right. He was not speeding, coming correctly, and we surprised him. When we surprised him, he tried to correct, to run away from us. He went to his left, and I tried to correct
Went to the left.
when we went up to,
Oh.
you know, he ran from us and I correct myself. I hit him on the right, not on the left.
Oh,
You know, we're supposed to hit like that.
right.
We're supposed to hit like that.
Mhm.
We hit like that.
Wow.
Yeah. This man, till this minute, I remember, he shot. He couldn't talk for minute. Couldn't. He told my father, he said exactly what this child described this accident. That's what happened.
And also he recalled he was a little bit describe himself. He's like pulling his hair and crying.
Oh, yeah,
Right? He was
yeah.
really
Like crazy. He became crazy.
and also he confirmed the red car. The film
Yes.
confirmed the red car accurate with the tuk Shawki.
I just remember red car. I don't know
Was
what kind of car.
Indeed, a small red car.
But he
Datsun.
know the car. I remember back then he said what's the car.
It's just a
forget.
Datsun 12.
Datsun.
Datsun a 1200.
1200 Alpha Metine, yeah. Room, all I remember those 6 months, room with heavy clothed woman, like our religion, the people wear shaykha as a religion, like a nun, they wear a lot of clothes with the fabric around the face and stuff. Room, all I remember, I don't know if everybody reincarnate the first year and a half have this thing, the noise and the confusion and the annoying, or just me because I moved 6 months, like a not clear. It's a black gap. I have a big TV. We have big TV like a chest, you know, wood. You know those old TV have
Yeah.
door and stuff. The door open like that. Our TV was close to the corner. When you open the door, it kind of covered the corner. I used to go hide behind that door most of the time when I was like year and a half. Hide there, thought this can help me from this noise, you know? The one in my mind, in my brain.
Okay, now we need to go with some question, Rabih. And as you remember, when the Dr. Stevenson interviewed, not your parents, you trained, correct, Jim? That's what you need to find out.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I had, Rabih, because I'm not really clear. Did Stevenson, how often do you remember Stevenson actually talked to you, interviewed you about your memories?
I believe twice.
Okay.
Twice, because I remember every time he came, he gave me gift. One time Timex watch and one time knife. Have
Swiss
like a
knife.
cross.
Swiss knife.
Yeah.
All right.
I
And
remember the people used to translate for him. Sami Mkarim. And one time I remember Sami Al-Aawar, our cousin.
I know both.
uh-huh.
Yeah, and I remember one time, I don't know if he was there, Sami Mkarim, or just Sami, my cousin, was talking about my uncle Yusuf Sabr Al-Aawar, Abu Tariq. He have gas station. I remember one day he took me with him to Beirut to buy the nozzle for the pump.
This is Choki now. This is
Yes,
Choki.
yes, yeah, show, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Go ahead and talk about that, because you hadn't told us that before, about the gas station and your uncle, Shoki's uncle, taking Shoki to the gas station. You hadn't told us about that before. So what do you remember?
Yes. This is, I remember, Yusuf Sabra, he's my uncle, my Shawq's uncle, like my father, previous life's brother. He have gas station. I remember when I saw him in this life, I remember him because I remember that day he took me with him to Beirut to buy those nozzle for his gas station. And I believe he came one day. My father used to work for him, not for him, for the senator, but he's the one dealing with my father, the one like manager for the senator used to be. And he saw me one day with my father, and I told him that. He told my father, I remember he told my father, yes, this happened. This happened one day. I took him with me to Beirut to buy that nozzle with the hose.
Rabia is saying that that as Rabia, Rabia's father encountered this man, right?
Yes,
And then Rabia is telling his father and the man about his memories of Shauki going to Beirut to buy the nozzle. Taking
exactly.
yeah.
Yes,
No, I understand. That's interesting. Yes.
Here in those questions, he mentioned it right now. It answered two questions from the one you wrote, Jim.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. And so you don't need to ask those now. So Rabia, what Khattar is going to read now is a list of things that Stevenson said that you talked about when you were a kid.
okay.
Okay? And these are things that you have not told us now. So what I want to understand is, do you still remember these things or not? Because when we study these cases in the follow-up way, like we're doing with you, many of the things that the children remembered in childhood, they don't remember as adults. So it's not surprising you don't remember everything, but I want to understand, I need to know how many of the things you remember. So that's why, yeah.
Remember when I told you there's many things I know about it, but if you remind me, I will tell you yes or no, because to come to me without, like my brother, if you remember, my brother, this life, when I go visit Lebanon, he always say, remember when we went there, we do this, that. Oh yeah, now I remember, but to remember it myself, it's not.
It's not the same thing.
Just first, we'll start. Actually, Rabih mentioning it's Shawki at the school. When a teacher called him Rabih, he didn't respond. And when the teacher asked him why, he said his name
Shawki, not
Shawki
Rabih.
wasn't
Yeah,
Rabih.
I
It was told
remember.
before. You
Yeah.
remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, Stevenson says that that's the first thing. That was before you talked about it at home. Is that your feeling too? That the first thing was at school and not at home, and then later you talked at home?
When I start talking, I kind of lived this as a reality because I wasn't building my personal personality in this life. I have nothing in this life strong enough to make me forget the other one, you know?
Right, right. Mhm.
Like always affected by Shawqi more than Rabia in this life. Yeah, it stayed with me like almost 5, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
He mentioned, I believe, the Sabra house was beside the hotel during the conversation.
Yeah.
That he answered that too.
Okay.
And we have you're talking about the Abajur Sabra houses.
Yes.
It's a red. Do you remember
Yes,
that?
red shutter.
The Sabra house was a stair inside, whereas the area is the present. The house had a stairs way, and only outside. Do you remember that
Yeah,
detail?
yeah.
Okay.
مطلع دارج بقول له.
Matlock, correct. And Shawki said his brother, Shawki had a brother and sister.
Yes.
Yeah. And his brother and sister were fat, overweight.
Mhm.
And Asad Sabra Al-Aawar was the father Shawki.
Yes.
His sister was called Mona.
Mona.
And Abu Tariq will repeat that. Okay, that's
Yeah. Let me, and Rabia, are these names that you remember from your memories of Choki, or are they names that you've learned since?
No, I remember those names.
Okay.
I want to add one more thing here, Jim.
Yeah.
Just of course, that's a previous memory, but because Rabia lived in the same village, and those names it's familiar with them because
Yes.
they have an interaction with the family and a friend. And we remember we back in the Middle East, especially in our area, in a village, we know each other in a detail.
It's
we
like a family.
we
big
know
family.
each
Yeah.
other. We can
Oh.
recall each other perfectly everywhere. And this memory for those people, it could be started with Shawki, but it just it's one continue growing with the previous life.
Okay, let me ask you something, both of you. Why do you think, Rabia, when you started talking about the Savra family, that your parents did not understand what family you're talking about then?
Because Sabra, there's families, and there's part of same family, but like couple houses, couple like
It's a
5,
it's a
6
sub-family.
family. Sabra, sub from the big family.
It's a sub-family from the big family.
You know?
For
Yeah, okay. But if Rabia is saying to his parents, I remember the Sabra family that lives by the hotel. It's a house with red shutters. And everybody knows each other, and Rabia's father had visited the Sabra Elawar house. Why didn't they not make that connection when Rabia was saying this? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Because I start saying Khweli Sabra. I never said the actual family, actual father. Like I never told my mom first Asad Sabra or my mom Adele or my uncle Yusuf or my uncle Camille, you know. All I said Sabra.
Uh-huh.
It could be the way he said it back then when he's child. Could be the pronunciation it wasn't correctly. They couldn't understand him correctly. It could be he never specification as a family Sabra.
There is Sabra family in Christian, there's Sabra family in Muslim, there's Sabra
Uh-huh.
family on everywhere in Lebanon.
So it's a common
Sabra-
name, right?
Sabra-
Yeah, it's a
Sabra-
common name, and there's zone called Sabra in
Exactly,
Beirut.
in the area in Beirut called Sabra. But one thing I want to just to clarify to be able to understand when we talk in subfamily. When we said subfamily, sometimes we identify each other by that subfamily. For example, Rabih Al-Aawar. Rabih, you know, they go with Rabih and his father and grandfather sometime to identify, to separate it, that the name Rabih from the same family.
Uh-huh.
And also those
Nickname
it's a like
too.
nickname to that small group. And sometimes they go by the grandfather. He
Okay.
have 3-4 children, and they go by them. Sabra is not a family; it's just a sub-family from the Awar family, big family.
You're right. You know, so Sava was the name of your father, of Shulki's father, right?
Yeah, the fucking grandfather.
Shulki's grandfather. Yeah, so
Grandfather.
Amin is his father. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is his grandfather, right?
Okay,
It really means ancestor is what you had said to
it's a
me.
pretty much.
Yes.
One of the best was written on the word, "If you pass me, you can have it."
Mhm.
It's a تقطع عني. I like that.
What does that mean?
Okay,
I never understood
just-
that.
If you
If you
speed
pass-
more than
if
me,
if if
you can have this.
you can have the car.
The road?
No, you can have
Have
the
the
car.
car.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it just
really?
goes. You use that expression on
It's
the cars back
an
home as well.
expression, not like.
Oh, for example,
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh,
beautiful
that-
eyes, follow me.
That's interesting.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. In English, if you say something like that, it would mean, okay, if you pass me, I'm going to kill you or something like that. That's what it would mean in English, colloquially. You
In
can have
Lebanon,
it.
If you pass me,
But-
you can have
but-
the car. Okay. The license number, the Vespa was a 4195. Can you recall that?
Whoa.
The number, the Vespa.
Yes,
License number.
yes, I used to remember that.
Good at
And
numbers.
I
Do-
told them that.
Do you remember it now, Rabia, or do you just remember having remembered it earlier?
No, when you said it, I remember, but I don't remember the number right now. I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The Vespa had a 3-speed. That's reality.
No, it's just goes
Oh,
like
the-
that,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
But yeah, like Premier, Deuxième, Troisième.
Yes,
It's
3-speed.
it's
Shokes, yeah.
Yeah.
Shoki, that.
Well, okay. Well, let me. Qatar, would you explain that maybe a little bit? What did he actually say then in Arabic? How is it a 3-speed? Because Rabia, you have said that it just you can go and you can stop, but now it seems like there is a 3-speed. How is that? Could
no
you explain that a little
clutch,
bit?
no clutch.
No clutch. Okay.
Yeah, it goes like you feel it's goes 1, 2, 3, but no
Automatically
clutch.
close.
Like an automatic car.
Automatically.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
automatic.
But are there 3 speeds? I'm trying to understand.
Yes, if
You know,
it's a
the-
3-speed, but when I mean no clutch, it will not change it. It will go every time go faster, and they take the second gear and go. That's
Okay,
what you
it
meant
just
to-
automatically shifts then.
Yeah,
Shift,
exactly.
exactly.
automatically.
Shift without clutch.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like an automatic car versus a gear shift
Yes.
with a
Manual.
clutch. Okay, like a manual. Yeah, manual versus automatic. Okay.
Of course, this question, Shawki died and Hisham survived. And he recognized the intersection in a road in the Dar al-Harf,
Yes.
of course. And he recognized where the accident occurred. Obviously, yes. Because what I'm trying to say here, for those questions, I'm answering why. Because spontaneously he knows, because he went through that more often at that time. If it's not maybe every day or every 2 days, he passed on that same road.
Yeah, but as Rabia, so you're still going on the road then to Ras Al Matan, and that's the road that goes on to Beirut, right?
Yes.
One of the roads.
One of them.
One of the roads, but it goes from Cornial to
Cornell, past Dar al-Harf, then
Uh-huh. to Ras Al Matan to Beirut.
Okay, I have a
Yes.
question here.
What is your reaction, your emotional reaction?
My reaction is normal, like just I feel like, yeah, this what happened when I was this life. I bought motorcycle and big motorcycle, and I have no fear from motorcycle.
You started talking about the life in between.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you said you saw these lots of people around and they had dark clothes on.
yes, dark clothes and like a religion people,
Yeah, religious people.
but I don't know anything about it because I was probably baby.
So
All I
I
saw,
went back to the book, and in the book, so that was, back then, evidently you didn't have any memories of that.
no,
Then what,
clear,
did something trigger that?
no. Is that like white went to gray, went to black?
Uh-huh.
This like a film,
Yeah,
born film, like nothing,
yeah.
nothing in it, because I was all I remember, but I cannot prove it to you if this in my previous or on my this life or in between
Mhm,
those things I saw.
mhm.
That's the only thing I can tell you. I saw religion people, black and white.
Yeah, and it's
Yes.
just like, the annoying feeling that you
Yes.
had. You can't prove that to somebody, but it was there. And then you say, okay, I want to go to the Sabra. You can't prove that yet. You didn't have enough information.
No.
So,
But that time in between
mhm,
the two life, it was life. Baby born but died,
mhm,
obviously.
yeah.
But I don't know anything about it. I don't remember anything.
Well, I just thought it was cool that you even had that little bit of a memory.
Yeah, a little. And I'm not sure if that in the previous life or in the second life or in between.
Or another one, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a similar case I saw in Lebanon, and they have a gap between the two lives. And I did ask one of them, would you remember? He said, nothing except just the white walls. I don't remember anything except just seeing white walls.